Hi crafty friends! Irene here with Artemis Made, visiting the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel today. I want to share with you a really fun little project inspired by, you're not going to believe it, soup. Maybe it's because it's cold out. I don't know. But I'm inspired. I'm inspired not by any soup, but by the famous Andy Warhol pop art Campbell soup paintings. You may have seen those around. They're really, really eye-catching and graphic, and they just literally pop. I mean, that is what they're called. They're pop art. But the idea is that it's really saturated colors, really bold imagery, bold lines, and it's a lot of repetition. So that's why you see this array of colors here. These are what we're going to be working with today. Now, the star of the show is going to be the Petite Prehistoric Pals die set from Trinity Stamps. Now, I very much wanted to use every single last one of these adorable little dino dies. I mean, how cute are these? Look at this little T-Rex. He's walking. Oh, I just love this so much. But a hallmark of the pop art genre is that repetition that I mentioned. So today, what we're going to do, I'm going to have to put my feelings aside along with some of these dies, because we're going to focus on what I hope has once again been called a Brontosaurus. I hope it's still the Brontosaurus. I know there was a time that it wasn't, but that's what I grew up calling it. That's what I was taught in school. But you know, I don't know what's going on in the world of science. We lost Pluto, we lost Brontosaurus. I don't know what's next. But for now, there we go, for the sake of argument, Brontosaurus. Okay, so I'm gonna put these little friends aside and we're gonna focus on this adorable little guy. Now, before we get too far into this, I'm gonna set him right here and he's gonna hang on to these. We're gonna work on getting our 4 square base parts done. Now, what I want to do with these is cut them out with a square die. I just have a square die from my set. Let's see, this is, yeah, 2.5 inches. So yeah, so it's a square, so 2.5 by 2.5. So if you want to make your own at home, you can just use your trimmer, whatever, cut out a 2.5 inch square. Now, because I'm using a die, I'm just going to cut this out. I kind of like the little beveled edge that gets impressed into it with my die cutting machine. So I am going to just grab my die plates. We're starting with the green one here. I'm just going to set this on here. You can see this is very well loved. It's got a lot of markings in it, but it cuts beautifully. So, you know, well, it cuts beautifully when I actually put things where they're supposed to go. Okay, I'm going to die cut this, and then I'm going to die cut these, and I will be right back. Okay, so now this is my last square. So you can see here, I had cut originally, trimmed down, I should say, a 3x3 square, roughly 3x3, just because I wanted to make sure I got a nice clean cut for my die. And you can see sort of the little beveled edge I was talking about. I just like that it gives it a little bit of something extra there. All right, so now these are my 4 squares, and I'm going to toss aside these extra things that I don't need. All right, so look at this little dino. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. He is so cute. All right, so there's our purple dino. Now, all right, so we aren't really stamping anything today. We are a little bit of, we'll do a little bit of stamping, but not much. But we are going to do some ink blending. Basic ink blending, nothing too labor intensive or anything, but it's going to add just a little bit of a beautiful glow to our little cards here. All right, so first we're going to just start with this blue panel. So this cardstock is, oh, I forgot. It is Park Lane cardstock. Anyway, so in this case, I just really wanted a nicer, softer color on the inside and a nice shadow around the outside. So, but I'm going to keep it to the edges so that I have room for my little dino to sit in the middle. He's going to be highlighted there in the center. Alrighty, so I am going to speed this up for you since it takes me just a little bit of time, and you'll just kind of see that the color is going to build up. So that's all I'm doing basically. I'm adding color, and I'm doing a little bit more diagonally across the edges, so it kind of gives you a nice like oval or circular-ish type swoop, so you can see already the glow beginning. So that's what I'm going for here. And I am picking up ink from my glass surface as I go, because it's a great way to conserve your ink. So all right, So now, like I said, I'm going to speed this up and I will catch you on the other side when I am done ink blending. Okay, so we are finished with our ink blending, and you can see that highlight that's left. So I just did that darker ink blending around the edges, and then I did it kind of toward the middle, but I left the middle blank, and then I did it with a smaller brush all the way around the outside one more time just to deepen it on the ends. Okay, so now here you can see the beginning of our color pairings. So remember how I said that the colors are just kind of out there. They don't always seem like they should go together, and in some cases they don't, but they also kind of do. So we've got purple with green, blue on yellow, that's more traditional, pink on blue, and then red on purple, which that one might be the toughest to swallow, but it is going to look really good together. So this is what we're going to basically be working with today. It is very, very simple. So we die cut our squares. We did a little bit of ink blending. We die cut these adorable brontosauruses. Yeah, these little dinos. There we go. And now we are going to work on our card base. So in order to handle this size, because I'm going to have to put all 4 onto a card base, so we're actually going to make a square card. So I already cut out a 5.5 wide by 11 long piece of cardstock, and I wanted to use black cardstock because I really wanted these colors to pop. So I'm going to bring my scoreboard in here, and I'm just going to score this at the 5.5 inch mark, and that is going to make it a 5.5 inch square card. So we'll just score it right here, 5.5. Okay, and then I like to flip it and fold it on the other side. Little trick there is just smush it up against the side of your scoreboard, and you can be pretty sure it's going to line up perfectly every time. Okay, so future Irene is jumping in here in a voiceover because I just babbled on for a while when I recorded this part. I went on about the virtues of double-sided adhesive. I don't know what I was talking about. Anyway, what we're doing here is basically butting up the card stock together to make sure that we kind of have that explosion of color that is what you get with a pop art theme. So I took my double-sided adhesive, and first I connected the 2 bottom squares. You can start anywhere really, but I started with the 2 bottom ones, lined them up very closely, made sure there were no gaps, and then instead of doing 2 more, I added the 3rd. And the reason I did that 3rd one separately is because if there were any gaps, or if anything was a little funky and I didn't quite get it right, then I could fix it with the last panel that I add, either by pushing it together more closely or leaving just a hair of space in between. So doing the first 2 together and then doing the last 3rd and 4th separately can help you cover up any little mistakes, basically. In this case, I had a little bit of a gap, but the other thing that helped is that we're using black cardstock. So of course the shadows and everything help cover that up. So I'm just putting that double-sided adhesive on all of my seams, and then I'm going to basically cover the entire panel. I went a little cuckoo bananas with the adhesive. So you can see I definitely covered up my whole panel here, but I mainly wanted to make sure that I got the seams. That's what I'm pointing at here. I want to make sure that all my seams and all the edges are completely adhered so that I don't have any gaps. And there we go, all good to go. I am going to take off all of the little backers, and then the idea is to get these centered. So you see we've already got our squares here. Now we just want to get our little dinos centered. Now it's easy to kind of want to focus on his or their back and the head, but if you look and try to center between the bottom foot and the top of the head this way, and then the tip of the tail and the neck on this side, that will help you align it in the center. And again, in order to keep the pop art vibe, you kind of want to make sure that they're lined up together as much as you can get them to be. So the idea here is that we are going to have basically the exact same image 4 times. That is the repetition I was talking about. All in different colors, all in vibrant, pop art colors, but this is the look we're going for. So I'm going to get these stuck down, and then we're going to move on to our last couple steps. All right, I'll be right back again. So our dinos are adhered down, and this is what they look like. Aren't they fun? They're so, so cute. So the last thing we're going to do on the outside of our card here is add our sentiment. So we embossed it, and now it's been cut into a cute little banner, and I liked the scale of it. I liked that it was long because this is a larger card base because of the square, but I also like the placement. It's going to go right across the seam here, and it's going to kind of tie in all 4 of those squares. But we are going to pop it up because our dinos are popped up too, so we're going to give it a little bit more dimension. All right, so I can always count on you. Now this is where I'm going to try to eyeball it. I'm not much for measuring, so I'm just kind of looking to see how much space I have on either end, and then I'm just going to kind of gently set it down. I'm eyeballing to where the center of my banner, the little indent, is directly on the seam, and I'm doing the same thing over here. I'm going to pick it up and kind of look at it and see, yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I think we did okay. All right, so then I can just make sure it's nice and straight and press it down gently. There we go, pressing it down. Okay, there we go. Now, I like to add embellishments usually, but this is so sparkly already from the cardstock that I don't really think it needs anything else. Plus, it's got the little bit of shine from the embossing, so I think that is our card. Now, what I also did, and I didn't show you, I apologize, but I went ahead and stamped another little sentiment from a different dinosaur set that was in this newest release called Terrific Dinos. And it has a "You Are Rarsome." So this is essentially like a "you rock" or "thank you" kind of a card. So I can always count on you. You are rarsome. And I cut out another little dino just to kind of bring the theme into my inside of my card. I like kind of bringing the outside in, so that's how I did that. And I cut it into from a different colored cardstock. So there we go, everybody. The card is done. What do we think? Do we like the pop art style? Is it interesting? Is it dynamic? Does it grab your eye? Does it make you think, okay, that's way too much color and way too mixed up? Tell me what you think. I would love to hear about it. Like I said, I was inspired by soup. So there we go. Andy Warhol's soup got me. Check out Andy Warhol if you're interested. It's very good. And definitely check out this die set. It is fabulous, and I just cannot get over how many uses there are. And this whole card was made with just one of the dies from the prehistoric pals, the petite prehistoric pals. Look how cute they are. They're so little too. Okay, here we go. Card is done. Thank you all so much for visiting today and sharing some time with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you maybe learned something. I hope that you had a laugh with me. And I also hope you have a chance to grab some paper and craft something that really makes you smile. Thanks so much again, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.